Okay, should we hire an outside marketing company for our marketing, or should we just do it ourselves? Well, you're about to find out. Okay, I get this question a lot. Should I hire somebody as an outside marketing professional and give all my marketing externally, or should we just do it ourselves? Well, there's a lot of different answers to that question, and there's a lot of different models for a dental practice. So we're going to kind of break that down so you can make a decision for yourself. A couple of things I want you to think with. There are certain things I would never do. Now, listen, I'm Dan Brown. I'm the resident marketing specialist here at MGE Management Experts. As much as I know about marketing, there are some things I would never touch. As much as I know about how to run a Google Ads strategy, I would never do my own Google Ads. I have a bunch of team members that do that, and they're just awesome at that. But that's a lot of work, and you really got to know what you're doing. I think when Google Ads first came out, you could just kind of go, yeah, I want to do some Google Ads. Here's some budget. Yeah, here's my bid rate. Boom, and you were done. You had to know a few things. Today, you got to know a lot of things, and you got to be on top of it. So on that one, I'd say, no, don't do your own Google Ads. And same goes for Facebook. Again, when Facebook came out, you did ads. It was kind of easy peasy, right? You just kind of did some ads, threw some budget at it, and it was all good. Today, not at all that way. So I would definitely find a strategist to do Google Ads, Facebook ads, maybe even Yelp if you're doing Yelp advertising. I think there are a couple different places where you could just kind of throw some budget at it. If you're using 1-800-DENTIST to try that out, that would be one. Another one is ZocDoc. You pretty much just give them a budget. They charge you a fee per appointment, not per show, but per appointment. So these are different strategies you could just kind of set and forget, kind of do yourself. You don't need a strategist to do that. But for Google Ads and Facebook ads, yeah, definitely. And possibly even Yelp. All right, now let's talk about your website. Should I just do my own website? Just go on to one of these website builders, and today you can even use AI and do it. Should we just do that? No, definitely not. Definitely not. With a website, there's so much that goes into it. And today, with how AI is now crawling the system, and now you can use AI to search and find things, you've got to have the back end of the website. So there's two sides of a website. There's the front end and there's the back end. Front end is what you see and all your patients see. The back end is what Google reads, and of course, any other search engine, including now today, AI. So the back end structure has to be laid out in a very specific format to communicate to the machines. So the machines know exactly what is what, and there's a lot of technical that goes into that. So I would certainly not suggest that you try to do like a Wix site or one of these own kind of homegrown build sites. I wouldn't do that, even if you like doing it. Okay, now what about postcards? Same thing. I would get your postcards designed. Now you might do the mailing yourself, right? They might print you the postcards and then send it to you in a box, and you could do the mailing if you got your list, you go to the post office, give them a zip code or whatever series of zip codes. You might want to do that, but the designing of it, I would also outsource that. Here's one thing I always tell our clients. Stick with what you know, outsource what you don't. Stick with what you know, outsource what you don't. But in outsourcing what you don't know, you do need to know enough about it so that you don't get burnt. Raise your hands if you've ever been burned by a marketing company, right? Or maybe even raise your hands if I don't know if I did okay or not. Well, you need to know enough about what they're doing and how to measure what they're doing and the return on investment, the ROI. You got to know that stuff enough to know, is the outsourced professional doing a good job? Where do you learn that? Well, you could obviously, like you're doing right now, YouTube the heck out of it, right? And spend hours and hours combing through all the stuff. We also do a 2-day online workshop, Friday, Saturday. They're pretty good long days, but I'll tell you this, in 2 days, you'll know more about marketing than you ever really wanted to know about marketing. It's a relatively inexpensive workshop that we do. And the best part about it is you get a money back guarantee. If you didn't like it, up to 6 months after the workshop, you're welcome to get your money back. So nothing to lose and everything to gain. We'll put a link down below so that you can get more information on the MGE New Patient Workshop. Good, so let's get back to what other things could you do, and should you definitely not do. Should you do your own SEO, search engine optimization? Again, a very technical subject. Some of you, and I've met some of the clients, and it's a pleasure to know such people. They love dentistry, they got that under control. They come on board with MGE, they learn practice management, they got that under control. And now they want to get into the nerdy stuff about marketing. and they learn that too. Awesome, awesome. But they are outliers. The general population is here and they're sitting way out here. Not the usual person. And again, even if you know SEO and what it should be, I would still have a professional strategist doing that for you. Unfortunate thing about SEO is that you're not going to know if they're doing a good job very minimally 6 months and more like 15 months down the line. And if they're not doing a good job, you've just hired this professional for 15 months and you didn't get the result you hoped for. So again, we cover all that at the New Patient Workshop. Come on, get some information on that. Good, let's talk about things that should be done, however, in your practice. Well, all of your local type social media stuff, do not outsource that. Please do not outsource that to some social media manager or an outside person who you hire who's remote. It can still be better than nothing, but what are they posting? The 10 things about the tooth that you never knew. Listen, that might be interesting to you, okay? And I'm not taking that away from you. But what about the general person out there? They're not going, oh, wow. That's not what's happening. What does get them going, though? Well, we cover that, again, at the workshop. But think about it. It's the practice culture. It's what's going on inside the practice. Hey, Alyssa just got a new dog, and show her new dog, whether she brings it to the practice or not. Have her get a picture up. And Alyssa, your hygienist, is amazing. Feature her dog, her family, who she is outside the practice, and how much you love and appreciate her. That would be a great thing. How is some outside hired company going to get that photo and know that data about Alyssa? They're not. What about a testimonial from a patient? Are you going to appoint somebody to come in with an appointment for a patient to do a testimonial? Well, you could. It's going to be costly. And, sometimes even the patients get a little bit like, oh, no, should I wear makeup? I don't know. I think I need to lose a couple pounds. No. You pull out your camera, the one that you keep with you all the time. It's called your phone. And you ask them a couple key questions. We'll give you those questions at the workshop. And you record it. Is it going to be amazing and perfect and awesome and everything? Well, probably not. Which works for you in your favor. It shows that you're a family-based practice and that it's a bit kind of homegrown. People like that. So we'll give you a ton of tips on this, but anything social media, I would keep that inside. Now, social media ads, outside professional. Listen, I could go on. I don't know if you get that. I could go on for like a long time. And I've already got the 2 people who are videoing this looking at me like going, all right, that's a pretty long tip. Yeah, it is, because there's a lot to do, a lot to know. But those are the things I would outsource. And there's a couple things I would insource. And of course, the last point I'm going to say is all of your marketing tracking needs to be done in the office. Your marketing tracking, meaning how many phone calls did we get from what marketing channel? Those come from calls that should be connected to call tracking numbers. So you can see, well, my postcard did that, my Google ad strategy did that, my referral card did that, our healthcare fair that we did this. And then you put that all together and you can find out what marketing channel is producing what. And just on that point, we have a free new patient call log. And that call log is something that you just fill out, and then you know what marketing is working and what marketing might not be working that needs to be reviewed, changed, or potentially dropped. So if you want that new patient call log, it's free. We'll put a link down there. So in the description, you could do that as well. If you've liked this and if this has helped you, well, I'd love you to go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well, because we're going to give you a bunch of free content like this. And when you hit that subscribe button, go ahead and enable all notifications. So you're going to hear about when we do new tips. We do them every week. And with that, I hope that's helped. We'll see you on the next one.